What is good, everybody? Quick dispatch today, talking a little bit more about the Roland P6 and a quick organizational tip that I have that's made my life a lot easier with this machine. This has been one of my favorite little boxes to play with, and if you noticed from the previous video when I talked about P6 and Move, I've added another device here in the chain, which I'm not going to talk too much about today, but I have been having a lot of fun with it, and I'll probably make a whole dedicated video about it. It's this mini Kaoss pad, which is a nice little end of chain effects processor. Not talking too much about that today. Let me know if you're interested in hearing more about that in the future. Today, talking specifically about how I've organized my drums on the P6. I talked all about using the P6 mainly as a drum machine only. But one major problem that I had with the P6 was as I would build up beats and patterns on the P6, I would forget where all of my samples were, and it made it really hard to do things like mixing and just overall stay organized. When you first get the P6, the kits are organized in a way so that every bank has each kind of sample on it. So you'd have something like a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, maybe a vocal sample, something melodic, etc. One bank would essentially be one kit. But I've moved completely away from that kind of system, and it's served me well. So what I've actually got now instead is each bank relates to a certain kind of sample or certain kind of instrument. So bank A is all kicks, followed by bank B, all snares, or similar to snares. Bank C, all little percussion. D, my hi-hats. E, these are all sources for the granular. Bank F, I've got vocal related samples, like F for face. I don't know, that's my way of remembering it. On bank G, I've got toms. And on bank H, I have like melodic samples that I can use for instruments, or just, this is my weird spot. I could create single note instruments out of these or be creative otherwise with them. But anyway, the point is that instead of having one kit per bank, I have one instrument per bank. What that means is when I start playing my patterns, say if I'm in the midst of a performance or something and I want to quickly do something like mute my kicks, all I have to do is hold shift and press A, because all my kicks are there. So no matter what beat I'm working on, if my kicks are always on A, I can immediately do something like that, mute all the kicks. Also, when it comes down to mixing, if I'm working on this beat and I'm like, that percussion is like a little too loud, instead of being like, oh, is this percussion from bank A or bank B or whatever, all my perks are on bank C. So I can immediately find it here on bank C, and I can adjust the mixing, bring it down a little bit further in the mix. And it's sounding pretty good here. Let's bring back in the the move, I should say. Whoa. Basically, I'm just using the move in this performance that I'm building to just be a little improvisational instrument that's running through the P6. Try organizing your banks by instrument. Put all your kicks on A, snares on B, etc. It's been working out well for me. I know there's going to be some drawbacks and some people will prefer it the other way, but just wanted to give that little tip for those of you with a P6 that are looking to get a bit more organized. And before we go today, I wanted to get your opinion on something. I got this comment the other day, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's on my first video with the P6 where I was traveling in Seoul with it. The comment says, "I bet you haven't picked this up in 3 months." Which I thought was kind of a strange comment, and I guess I hadn't made too many videos featuring the P6, but I had. And also, I've been using the P6 a lot, just not making videos with it. So I can understand a little bit of confusion when it comes to me in this channel, and just so everybody's aware, like, I'm always trying out new gear, I'm always trying out new stuff, so that does kind of prevent me from staying consistent with a single setup all the time, and staying true to like one piece of gear at all times. But that's just by the nature of what I do. I love music tech and I love exploring new music tech. I think that's pretty acceptable in other areas. Like if you watch normal like tech YouTubers that review laptops or review cell phones, they're always trying something new. And that's true for me too. But I also want to just caution folks, to not make assumptions about people that you see online. The stuff you see here on my channel is only a small part of my musical life, my regular life, all of the above. I make certain videos because I think they might be interesting to you, and sometimes I'm jamming in the background on gear that I never really even talk about on this channel. So I think we should all just be careful before casting our judgment online. The person you see on the screen has a whole life outside beyond their channel, and we shouldn't make too many assumptions and project onto them that they are the only the person we see on the screen. I think a lot of the people that I know that also make videos, they have a lot of things going on in their life and a lot of things that they do behind the scenes that they don't necessarily talk about on their channels. That could be musically or otherwise. So I just want to get your thoughts on comments like this. How should I address them? And also just bring some awareness to the fact that we should just, kind of reserve some judgment online sometime. And remember that creators have lives outside of what you see online. If you enjoy little dispatch videos like this, let me know. I'd love to make more of them. If you missed my previous video about using the Move and the P6, go watch that now. And if you want to hear more about this Kaoss pad, stay tuned because I'm going to be making a whole video about this. Thank you so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.